Definitely, it has. Good morning. It has been a tough couple of weeks, a tough couple of months. Our market is impacted a lot by mood and sentiment. Deal making needs a bit of confidence and stability to be at its top. So it has been quite tough as people are trying to figure out what it all means across different levers, performance of business, financing, etc. So definitely a big impact.
Yeah, so come on, all these, I was going to be derogatory. All of these very, very smart people in the private equity business used to do just like the ultimate carry trades. They'd get money at zero and then they would just go and invest it somewhere. And actually, it was hard not to make money for many of them. Now that money is being priced more aggressively as well, how has that changed the appetite for some of the frothier deals in the market?
Listen, there is a lot of money out there. They raise big funds, they get paid a fee, so they will need to spend it. What it means is that they need to work harder to create value. So it hasn't been a carry trade for a very long time, but operational improvement, acquisition, consolidation. Now it's not about multiple expansion, it's really about doing something with the business they acquired. So they're all getting up for that.
Simona, can I ask you about the market sentiment, though, because we've seen a lot of funds just pull back in at this point, from some of the sovereign wealth funds to some of the pension funds, about the type of investments they're willing to make at this stage. And what does that mean as you see a very large would-be investor just step away from the market?
Listen, I think what is going to happen and it is happening is that for the next couple of months, everyone will be cautious. We need to find a new normal where valuation will come down, that debt, of course, will be more expensive. But once we figure out how we can price risk, I think deals will start happening again and the machine will keep fueling itself. Now, in theory, when you think about it, this should be a perfect time to invest, right? We're waiting for the Americans to come back, given the very strong dollars. There will be opportunities, companies will be in distress. So I think very soon we will have a perfect storm to be able to invest again.
Simona, this is a very old conversation that we're having in many ways about distressed or beaten up assets that may be targeted by companies overseas that swoop using the effects of dollar strength versus the conversation we've had for many years now in tech world, driven by certain sectors that are outperforming, whether it's cloud services, SaaS, or whether it's fintech, payments. Just give us a sense how that plays out down the pathway. Do we still see some of those tech sector stories flourish as such, or is that on the back burner for now?
There are some sides of tech that will continue to be very active in the market, but these are the ones where you're not paying for very much future growth like we've been doing in the last few years, but you're paying for more, maybe slower, but regular steady growth. So these are sector part of tech that were considered less sexy until recently, like IT services. But there is definitely a premium now for stability versus future growth. So I think for now, the more speculative story will be put on hold, and we will favor a stability of margin and maybe slower growth, but more secular.
Simona, we're just talking about being fixated on one problem that you're trying to solve and then just missing another one. For the new UK government, any messages you would have about protecting key assets that may just be acquired because of sterling weakness?
There is a lot of concern about that. In the UK, there are clearly assets that are sensitive in nature, but in the last couple of years, we've seen already some form of protectionism by the government to make sure that there are a mechanism in place for, as I say, sensitive assets in the defense, satellite, and I expect more of this coming because a lot of them are more vulnerable today. So clearly more scrutiny is required.